Shall we pray? Almighty God, who is in wisdom and goodness, have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to build your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to performance of important tasks in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us, ye assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just a faithful as a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order. Sorry, maybe honorable members and members of the public, good afternoon. I want to communicate that we have members of the public and the gallery, and we want to welcome the members of the public on this session of afternoon session. So welcome and for this deliberation. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Clerk.
Order number 4, petitions.
Clerk.
Order number 5, papers.
Clerk.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Honorable Isaac Samuel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That pursuant to Uasin Gishu County Assembly Standing Orders number 28-3, this House to adjourn its sitting from Thursday, 2nd March 2023 to 13th March 2023 to proceed for short recess as per the Uasin Gishu County Assembly House calendar. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
Clerk.
Order number 8, motion and bills.
Clerk.
Order number 9, motion.
Honorable Gilbert Chepol.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wish to move the following motion: that this county assembly do adopt the report of the ad-hoc committee on petition on first choice recruitment and consultancy agency dated 28th February 2023 and tabled on 28th February 2023 with or without amendments. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly received a petition on 23rd November 2022 from 14 petitioners on first choice recruitment and consultancy agency on behalf of others, Annexure 1. The petition met the requirements of the form of petitions as provided for in Standing Order number 209 and the fourth schedule of the Uasin Gishu County Assembly Standing Orders. Subsequently, the County Assembly Committee committed the petition to another committee comprised of 15 honorable members pursuant to Standing Orders number 213, subsection 1. And the members, and the honorable members, Honorable Speaker, one Honorable Gilbert Chepkonga, Chairperson. Honorable Francis Muya, Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Mary Goreti, Member. Honorable Rebecca Chepchirchir, Member. Honorable Jonathan Ngetich, Member. Honorable Gilbert Koskei, Member. Honorable David Keitany, Member. Honorable Isaac Samoe, Member. Honorable Nicholas Bitok, Member. Honorable Moses Kebenei, Member. Honorable Evans Kapkea, Member. Honorable Amos Kiptanui, Member. Honorable Sarah Malel, Member. Honorable Julia Sang, Member. And Honorable Julius Thomas Yego, Member. The four said members, Honorable Speaker, appended their signatures on the report. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee sat on Tuesday, 10th January 2023, Thursday, 26th January 2023, and Friday, 3rd February 2023, to gather information from the petitioners and the respondent. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ad-hoc committee on the petition of first choice recruitment and consultancy agency were tasked to 1, establish whether first choice recruitment and consultancy agency is duly registered. Number 2, find how much was paid to the agency by each applicant and the reasons for the payment. Number 3, the documents of the applicants that the agency has in their possession. And number 4, the nature of jobs that were available in Qatar. Honorable Speaker, the ad-hoc committee on petition on first choice recruitment and consultancy agency wishes to thank the offices of the Speaker and Clerk to County Assembly for their support during the inquiry on the petition. The committee also wishes to thank its members for their commitment and effort that ensured the successful and timely production of the report. Finally, the committee, Honorable Speaker, is also indebted to the support received from its secretariat comprising of legal office, committee clerks, Hansard staff, research office, sergeant at arms, and the public relations office, who ensured that the public hearings were conducted as required by law and transmitted live through the Assembly's YouTube channel and social media pages. Petitions on first choice recruitment and consultancy agency, the submissions by the petitioners. Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday 10th January 2023, the 14 petitioners, namely Kevin Koech, Mike Yegon, Nixon Kibet, Lawrence Cheruyot, Enoch Tarus, Collins Kiblagat, Paulins Ambaka, Alfred Kibruto, Dorothy Chepkrui, Sami Boiro, Miriam Chepkrui, Viola Gemeli, and Mr. Rupen Chepses Arap Koech appeared before the ad-hoc committee. Mr. Gemutai Kirui, a human rights activist from the Center Against Torture, wrote to the committee requesting to be enjoined with the first choice recruitment and consultancy agency petition as an interested party. The committee allowed him, and he appeared with the aforementioned petitioners. The petitioners, in their submission, informed the committee that they learned of first choice consultancy and recruitment agency through an advertisement on social media and road shows. And later, during its mega launch that took place on 20th May 2021 at the Teachers Advisory Center, where prominent leaders like Honorable Jackson Mandago, former governor of Gishu County, Simon Chelugui, former cabinet secretary, water, sanitation and irrigation, and David Lagat, businessman, were present. These gave the applicants confidence to use the agency. The petitioners, Honorable Speaker, visited their offices at City Plaza, 3rd floor, to inquire and apply for the available jobs. Most of them had applied for a 6-month contract job in Qatar to work during the FIFA World Cup 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, the agency charged 40,400 for short-term contract of 6 months and Kenya shillings 150,000 for a 3-year contract where all payments were to be paid in cash and the applicants issued with receipts which did not have the agency's letterhead or official stamps. When some of them inquired this, they were told that those were temporary receipts because their contracts were temporary, but were assured that their names were being updated in the system. That is seen in Annexure 2. The 40,000, Honorable Speaker, was to cater for registration 5,000, medical 5,000, as well as agency fee and visa processing fee to facilitate getting jobs abroad. They were later called for interviews and were informed that they were successful, after which they were told to submit their testimonials for jobs application. Medical tests were done to all applicants, where blood samples were obtained from the applicants in a room at the agency's office, and a chest x-ray done at a facility in Zion Mall. No results or receipts were issued to the applicants after the medical test. Honorable Speaker, sir, the committee was informed that the first batch of applications were supposed to travel to Qatar on 26 June 2022. In preparation, some of the petitioners resigned from their jobs, took loans, sold their belongings like motorbikes, land in order to raise the money to facilitate their travel to Qatar. Honorable Speaker, sir, the communicated date of travel came and passed, but nothing was communicated to the successful applicants. The petitioners made several visits to the agency's office, but never got any explanation or communication on the status of the travel. After several attempts to seek for answers, Honorable Speaker, from the agencies proved futile, the petitioners resorted to other options to seek for justice. In September 2022, they went to the Uasin Gishu County Commissioner's office, but they were directed to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations offices at the Eldoret Central Police Station, where they recorded their statements and obtained an occurrence book OB number, as shown in the Annex 3. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee was informed that it was after this that the Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, informed them that the World Cup 2022 had been postponed to November of the same year and urged them to be patient. However, November came and passed, and it is after the World Cup that the petitioners realized that they had been duped and that the process was a scam. As a result, some of the petitioners demanded for refund of their money, and in the process, one of them, by the name Sami Boiro, was called to collect his check. When he showed up to collect his refund, the committee was informed that he was arrested with allegations of threatening the Director, First Choice Consultancy and Recruiting Agency. After his arrest, he was given cash bail of 5,000 that he paid and was issued with a receipt. As instructed by the police, Sami Boiro reported to the Central Police Station, Eldoret, the next day, but was not taken to court as required by law. Instead, the Director, First Choice, approached him and offered him an opportunity to earn some money by marketing her company. The petitioner declined the offer and noted that he has never been taken to court to date. He also presented to the committee the cash bail receipt as part of the evidence in Annex 4. Submissions, Honorable Speaker, by Mr. Lawrence Zuki. Honorable Speaker, the committee heard from another petitioner by the name Lawrence Nzuki, who had applied to study in Finland. He managed to do an interview, passed, and got an offer letter from Tampere University, Finland, and paid 150,000. Later, the agency asked him to pay an additional of 300, yet they had agreed the balance of the required amount would be paid in installment once he settles in Finland. After a week, he got a phone call from Tampere University informing him that he had not paid the school fees. Mr. Nsuki, Honorable Speaker, went back to the agency, and the Director, First Choice Recruitment Consultancy Agency, informed him that they had a disagreement with the University of Tampere, and she further convinced him to apply to study in the university in Poland. He was later called and informed that he has secured a work permit for Poland, which he signed, and was booked for an embassy appointment. He honored the embassy appointment, but unfortunately got a visa refusal. Concerned with the outcome, he went to investigate the reason for his visa refusal and was informed that it was due to a fake insurance policy issued by First Choice Agency. To ascertain this, he visited Pioneer's insurance company that had issued the insurance policy, and after explaining himself to the management, samples of genuine insurance policies were shown to him. The genuine insurance policy was valid for 32 days, contrary to the 365 days validity period indicated on one issued to him, that is in Annex 5. Mr. Nsuki informed the committee that on many occasions he reported to the DCI office in Eldoret to seek for assistance but was unsuccessful. He also tried to contact the agency on the same, but instead on 1st November 2022, he was served with a letter through the agency's advocate accusing him of threatening and defamation of character, Annex 6. A few days later, he was called by one of the agency's employees by the name Matthew to go and collect his check as a refund. Nzuki agreed to meet the Matthew, and he was issued with a post-dated check that was not equivalent to the total amount he paid to the agency. Upon inquiry on the deficit, he was assaulted during that meeting near Eldoret District Hospital. He reported the assault to Central Police Station Eldoret and acquired a medical examination report, Annex 7. Mr. Nsuki narrated to the committee that he was called to a meeting at the Central Police Station where he went in the company of his mother. They were told that there was information that some of the applicants were planning to hold protests in town. His mother was cautioned that during the protests, police were to disperse the protesters and her son would be shot in the confusion. This alarmed the mother, who convinced Nzuki to accept the post-dated check. Attached is a copy of the post-dated check, Annex 8. Honorable Speaker, we also have evidence submitted by Ruben Chepses over Mr. Kipsang Belio. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Ruben Chepses, whose evidence was corroborated by Mr. Kimutai Kirui, gave the following submission: that there is one gentleman by the name Kipsang Belio who had been swindled by First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. He is a resident of Kamagut Ward, Kapchinja area. He was recently hosted by Kass FM concerning the issues of First Choice Recruitment Consultancy Agency. The petitioners informed the committee that Kipsang Belio was abducted at Lelmok in Nandi County by unknown people on the morning of 10th January 2023 by people who called him and requested him to accompany them to the county assembly for hearing of the petition on First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. The petitioners further informed this committee that Kipsang Belio was abducted by unknown persons and ferried to Kapyet Police Station using a government of Kenya vehicle with a non-registration number, where he was locked up in police cells without any occurrence book being booked. Without any occurrence book OB number being raised. In their submission, the petitioner informed the committee that the information Kipsang Belio had regarding First Choice and Consultancy Agency could have greatly assisted the committee in making a determination over the matter. It is for this reason that the petitioners are convinced that the unlawful arrest of is connected to First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. We also have, Honorable Speaker, submissions by Mr. Kimutai Kirui. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Kimutai Kirui, a human rights activist from the Center Against Torture, informed the committee that he was made aware of the plight of the victims when they were demonstrating in the streets of Eldoret, protesting how they have allegedly been swindled by First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. In his submission, Mr. Kirui cited that he visited National Employment Authority to seek for information on the requirements for registration of employment agencies. He established that for an agency to be registered, it requires to have a valid tax compliance certificate and a single business permit from the county government, which are supposed to be displayed in a visible place within the office. Mr. Kimutai Kirui further informed the committee that regulations and on monitoring monitoring and evaluation of the employment agencies in general is lax because most of the agencies move offices quite often. This makes it difficult to monitor them. From his submission, Mr. Gumutai Kirui alluded that First Choice Recruitment Consultancy Agency Directors Ms. Judy Chepchirchir enjoys unlawful protection from the security agencies to her advantage and further enjoys protection from the political class. His final submission is that the committee to obtain CR 12 to ascertain the legitimate owners of First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. Honorable Speaker, the petitioners had a consolidated prayers, and they were as follows. 1. The County Assembly to deliberate, give recommendations, advice on the way forward on the petitions against First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. Number 2, the County Assembly to ensure that the agency do refund the petitioners monies, passports, and other testimonial documents. Summon the Division of Criminal Investigation, Tarbo Sub-County Officer, Commanding Police Station, OCBD, and Officer Commanding Station, OCS, Eldoret Central Police Station, to shed more light on the issue. Number 4, the County Assembly to ascertain whether there were criminal liability or fraud by the agency, and if yes, appropriate legal mechanisms to be commenced. The County Assembly to sanction audit of finances of First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. And number 6, the County Assembly to ascertain legal establishment of the company, whether the letter of attestation are in compliance with section 83, 84, and 85 of the Employment Act 2007 and National Employment Authority. Honorable Speaker, submissions from Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, the Director of First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee invited the respondent, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, the Director of First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, to appear before it on 9th January 2023. She declined to appear before the committee by way of a letter from her advocate citing various reasons. On 26 January 2023, she appeared before the committee under summons and accompanied by her advocate, Mr. Henry Kenei. She, however, did not furnish the committee with the documentary evidence that it had requested for in the summons. The committee indulged her further and extended the summons of appearance to the 1st January 2023 through her advocate. She requested for another convenient date, Annexure 9. The committee granted the request and she appeared on 3rd February 2023. The committee was dissatisfied with the respondent's submissions under oath and felt that she was in outright disobedience of the committee's powers. The respondent did not follow the directions of the committee by not furnishing it with 1. A detailed status report on residents of Wazingishu who successfully applied and proceeded to work in Qatar. Number 2, a detailed status report of residents of Wazingishu who successfully applied and proceeded for further studies or work permits to Poland, Finland, Britain, and Qatar. The report was to contain details of names, identification numbers, place of residence, addresses, amount paid in by the applicants. Number 3, a detailed status report on the number of Wazingishu residents who applied for jobs and learning opportunities abroad but were unsuccessful, together with the reasons why they were unsuccessful. The report was also to include reasons why some applicants' travel documents and testimonials were retained by the agency. Additionally, names, identification numbers, residence, and amount paid by the applicants were to be included. Number 4, a detailed status report on any refunds made to proof of the same. Honorable Speaker, the committee made the following observations. Number 1, from the petitioner's submission, the respondent, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, enjoys unlawful protection from national security agencies, in particular Mr. Ndiwa, Directorate Criminal Investigation Officer, DCIO, Tarbo Sub-County, and Mr. Philip Maswai, Police Officer attached to Central Police Station. The petitioners also made several attempts to report the issue to the security agencies, but were met with uncooperative officers. She has also misused her relationship. She has also misused her relation with prominent people, mainly from the political class. This is evident because during the official launch of First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency at the Teachers Advisory Center, Honorable Jackson Mandago, former governor of Uasin Gishu County, Simon Chelugui, former cabinet secretary, water, sanitation and irrigation, and David Lagat, businessman, were present. The committee observed that the medical tests done by First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency as a requirement to travel was done unprofessionally because blood and urine samples were taken from the agency's office. The committee could not establish if the lab within the office is registered and has the necessary equipment, and if the lab technicians working there are qualified and registered. X-rays also were done at a facility in Zion Mall, and no medical report were given to the applicants. Further, number 3, that the police officers at Central Police Station were compromised by Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, because they were used to intimidate the petitioners. In particular, Sami Boiro, who was arrested and charges were not preferred against him, and Lawrence Nzuki, who was summoned by Mr. Ndiwa, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, Tarbo Sub-County, and coerced to sign a termination of contract form in the presence of the Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency. Honorable Speaker, fourth observation is that the committee noted that the respondent, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, displayed arrogance when she failed to honor invites to appear before it on 9th January 2023, citing flimsy reasons. She only appeared before the committee after receiving summons on 31st January and 3rd February 2023. During her submission, she appeared disinterested, bored, insincere, and arrogant. As a result of her demeanor, the committee had to declare her a hostile witness. Honorable Speaker, the fifth observation is that Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, informed the AD-HOC committee that she had received over 8,000 applications from people seeking for employment opportunities abroad, not only from Uasin Gishu, but across the country, and that only 800 of those applications were successful. The committee deduced that she received colossal amounts of money in the form of application fee and other incidental fees. The committee further observed that with not an ounce of guilt or a sense of integrity or honesty, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, unjustly enriched herself with unsuspecting people's money. Money that was raised by selling assets, mobilizing her base, loans and savings. She breached the applicant's legitimate expectation to travel with no regard to the consequences they suffered. Consequently, huge sums of money were lost in this saga. Honorable Speaker, the sixth observation, Honorable Speaker, sir, the committee established a prima facie on first instance case that Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice and Recruitment Agency, obtained money by false pretense contrary to Section 315 of the Penal Code by fraudulently tricking to obtain money from the petitioners, also issuing bad checks contrary to Section 316A(1)(c) of the Penal Code. It has come to the petitioner's attention that the refund check number 0002227 issued to Mr. Lawrence Zuki, which was to be cashed on 17th February 2023, has since been dishonored. Honorable Speaker, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment Agency, holds no certificate of registration issued by the Data Commissioner in compliance with the Data Protection Act, yet our agency is a data processor under the Act. The committee established that there were no court order in force that barred Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency, from giving evidence to AD-HOC committee, so she therefore had no reason to be frugal with information to the committee. Further, she had no reasons to refuse to give information on details of the applicants who were unsuccessful. Those who were successful, how much were paid by each applicant, and their personal details, because she is not compliant with the Data Protection Act. Honorable Speaker, the AD-HOC committee had the following recommendations. Honorable Speaker, from the above observations, the committee hereby recommends that 1. The National Assembly to review the National Employment Act number 3 of 2016, together with the regulations and policies to ensure strict compliance, and also establish further stringent monitoring and evaluation strategies to ensure recruitment agencies do not become the new scandals of swindling money from innocent citizens. The committee is alive to the fact that the Kenyan youth are desperate for greener pastures where they can make a honest living, and these recruitment agencies are capitalizing on the situation. Honorable Speaker, the National Employment Authority conducts thorough due diligence on these recruitment agencies before issuing certificates of registration, and also establish and operationalize a vibrant complaints department and immediately revoke licenses where it proved that these agencies are guilty of misconduct contrary to the law. On the third recommendation, Honorable Speaker, the National Employment Authority, NEA, to immediately revoke the license issued to First Choice and Consultancy Agency, investigate the agency, and take the necessary action. Number 4, the county government of Uasin Gishu to immediately revoke First Choice Recruitment and Consultancy Agency business permit pending investigations and recommendations by the relevant agencies. Number 5, the county government of Uasin Gishu to establish a mechanism to scrutinize the legality of the mushrooming recruitment agencies within Uasin Gishu County before issuing business permits. Number 6, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to put the petitioners on a witness protection program to guarantee their safety during the period that investigations by relevant bodies is being conducted. Number 7, Independent Policing Oversight Authority to investigate its officers adversely mentioned by the petitioners, Mr. Nthiwa, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, Otarubo County, and Mr. Philip Maswai, police officer attached to Central Police Station, and stern action taken against them for gross misconduct. Number 8, Ms. Judy Chepchirchir, Director, First Choice Recruitment Agency, to refund the monies paid by the applicants in terms of fee and other incidentals with immediate effect. Number 9, the Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, to investigate Ms. Judy Chepchirchir on the allegations of obtaining money through false pretense, extortion, and issuing back checks, and appropriate action taken against her. Her personal assistant, Matthew Kemboy, must also be investigated on the allegation of assault or any other criminal culpability. Number 9, Abednego, the lab technician working in First Choice and Recruitment Consultancy Agency offices, to be investigated by the County Health Department to ascertain the eligibility of his qualifications and whether he is a registered health practitioner. And last but not least, Honorable Speaker, the Office of the Inspector General to compel First Choice Recruitment Agency to return applicants' passports, original documents, and other testimonials in their possession with immediate effect, and signed by the chair of the AD-HOC committee. Honorable Speaker, while hearing this petition, it was evident, Honorable Speaker, that we are facing an individual who is said to be above the law. In fact, at some point, Honorable Speaker, there were some words outside there that the county assembly will be bribed so that this statement fails to, this petition fails to see the light of the day. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to petition this matter. I want to thank honorable members for giving your time in handling this petition. Please allow me to thank my able vice chair for dedicating himself to helping me steer this committee to come up with this report. I want to thank the secretariat both for never tiring when all seemed to be bleak. Let me also thank and appreciate the petitioners for being Kenyans, because I want to believe that for one to own the name a Kenyan, you should be of high moral standing. So thank you so much, petitioners, for being true Kenyans. Honorable members, I'm begging that we adopt this report so that honorable members will make a statement that Uasin Gishu is not a private company. We need to make a statement that Uasin Gishu is for all of us. And it is for all of us if we work hard to progress and to have the best out of what this land gives us. Honorable Speaker, it is immoral for one to take advantage of the situations where we are in order to enrich himself. It is true, honorable members, that Madam or Miss Judy Chepchirchir became so hostile in this committee, at some point threatening to leave us here. I don't know, maybe somebody told her that this is a house that has no powers to do anything. Or perhaps maybe the petitioners are hustlers. They don't have cash to marshal their way through. We've been called honorable members that we stand for the people who really voted us, who really made us to be leaders. Every day when I wake up, I receive 1, 2, or 3 calls. And these are calls, some of the calls are reverse calls. Because the caller cannot even afford to pay for that call. And they're asking me when this matter will be sorted. Honorable members, the entire nation of Uasin Gishu, and by extension Kenya, is looking at what this house is doing today. We need to teach Madam Judy that even us were born of women. And that this nation or this county of Uasin Gishu has sons and daughters who can stand for the welfare of the people. We've had thorough consideration by the committee, and the observations, honorable members, are that we are not ending here. We are just tabling the report, but we will still be active to see that justice is delivered to mwananchi. For those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, let me welcome my first chair, the leader of minority, Honorable Francis Muya Mwangi, to second. Thank you.
Honorable Minority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. From the onset, I'm standing to second the report that is before us from the ad hoc committee, which was tasked with two very, very important investigation. One was prosecuted this morning and a report adopted over Finland sponsorship program by the county government of Uasin Gishu. And now the report of the ad hoc committee on petition of first choice recruitment and the consultancy agency. Mr. Speaker, first I would like to commend the 14 petitioners who stood against all odds and made sure that the voices of the voiceless has been brought up. Mr. Speaker, when we were interrogating the matter, we learned that our brothers and sisters who come from Uasin Gishu County and our neighbors, once they realized that they have been swindled, they tried to seek justice, but all their efforts were not fruitful because one, Mrs. Judy Jebkosgei, Jebkirchil, the director, First Choice Recruitment Agency, is a well-connected Kenyan, but not for the good, for the bad of our dear Kenyans. What am I saying? Mr. Speaker, when we sat to listen to these great people, the 14, who out of the 8,000, only 14 were able to come out and appended their signature, and this is a wake-up call. Because when we were prosecuting this matter, Mr. Speaker, the document that we were trying to get from First Choice Recruitment Agency Director, Mrs. Judy, she was zeroing in on the 14. What did we learn as Kenyans, as the people of Uasin Gishu? It is proper not to be fence-sitters in whatever matter, whether good, whether bad. It is good to be forefront. Because I was imagining if 3,000 or thereabout out of the 8,000 came up and appended their signature, though the 14 came up with a petition on behalf of others, but the accused, being guided by her lawyer, the Kenai and Associates advocates, were very clever to try and zero in on the 14. What am I saying? It is proper when we find anything that we need to petition, whether in the assembly, whether in what organization, in the National Assembly, Senate, it is good to have a proper meeting, have a sitting and agree that we are moving forward as a good number so that the voices can be heard well. Mr. Speaker, when we were listening to the petitioners, it was so moving to hear the narration of the like of Sami Boiro, the Mr. Nzuki. Because, Mr. Speaker, how comes that you try look for justice, and where you can get the same justice, the officers had been compromised? I don't know by what, but I suppose by good money, because my calculation tells me if the applicant were 8,000 with the minimum figure that was being paid 40,000, that is a clean money of 320 million Kenya shillings. That I'm using the lowest figure, and only 800 managed to get something, meaning that because most of these people had paid, this lady had a lot of money to do what she would like to do. And that's why you hear the case of somebody like Sami Boiru. When he was called that he is disrespecting the first choice, the moment he went to police station for him to be prosecuted for the offense, because he could not be taken to court the first day, he was given a cash bail of 5,000. But instead of him being taken to court the following day, he was called at Central Police Station, where he found the director first choice. And he was told, can you negotiate? You know, I am imagining what kind of police station or police officer are we having in this nation? The names are very clear. They are in black and white. Mr. Ndhiwa. I don't know him by person. I don't intend to intimidate him, but he has intimidated himself because it is in black and white. Such a person of high moral and with a big office trying to intimidate a boda rider. That is shameful of him. It is so disheartening that these things were in public domain. I am not leaving the office of the county commissioner. The petitioners did allude that they went up to his office, Mr. Nyale, but he sounded helpless. Which Kenya are we living in, Mr. Speaker? The county commissioner is the head of the security team in the county. The DCIO, the county commander, and all who are below them, they are under him and they sit in a meeting where he chairs. And my question comes, do we have the right people to give us the services we need in Uasin Gishu County? Mr. Speaker, when we did what we could to try and hear the side of story of these officers, that is Mr. Ndhiwa, the DCI, and another officer by the name Mr. Maswai, because we could not say that they are guilty. We wanted them appear before this committee and give their side of story. But what did they choose? They chose to decline and requested us to ask them to appear through the office of Inspector General. Mr. Speaker, I am standing here while I am seconding this report that it's a high time the director, the head of the police department in Kenya, the Inspector General, to find in his own judgment to put these officers under investigation, and if found guilty, they should face the law like any other Kenyan. Because, Mr. Speaker, There is no way a boda boda rider who was trying to get some greener pasture through this first choice recruitment agency in Qatar can be subjected to another torture that he need to advocate and, in fact, popularize what had already offended him. It is not acceptable in law. Mr. Speaker, I was asking myself, how comes when these brothers and sisters of this great county, when they sought permission to do demonstration or to picket, because they are allowed by law, they were given permission, but the following day, what did they found? All the police officers or police stations around Wasingishu, what we heard is that all the vehicles had been called in Eldoret town. To do what? Just to deny them time to air their views. Mr. Speaker, what Kenya are we living? I think as a country that is growing day by day, becoming better by day, but it's a high time the department that is in charge with the security issues be investigated and something be done. Because if this is Eldoret that we are going to leave, I think our children, our brothers are not safe. The case of the man who was being invited to come here and hear the petition, how we were handling the petition. We hear that he was abducted, taken to Nandi County. What era are we living in, Mr. Speaker? I think it's a high time we have a serious talk, the leadership of the county government of Wasingishu and the leadership of the security apparatus. Because there is no way we can have a county commissioner and his team of the security men and women not protecting the great people of Wasingishu County. Mr. Speaker, this is not acceptable. And if because I'm an honorable member representing the people of Langas, is a high time we stand tall and we say enough is enough. Those who are not working be transferred and taken to other places because we can't tolerate this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another issue that came out very clear in this petition is that Madam Judy was able to compromise members of fourth state. That is the media houses. How? First, one of the biggest media houses, that is Royal Media, Citizen, did give this lady airtime, not once, until to a point she was given a funny name, Mwanamuke Bomba. After swindling our brothers and sisters, this is not acceptable. Shame on the officer representing Citizen Media in Wasingishu County. We hear this officer was taken from Wasingishu up to JKIA just to air the report of this lady, whom we have seen what she has done to our people. There is no known media station that was ready to air the views of these poor Kenyans. It is so shameful. It's so disheartening. Not even Kass FM, not even Nation TV, not even KTN. It's a high time. I'm asking the directors of these media houses, it's a high time you relook what kind of officers are representing you in Wasingishu, because we are crying and Wasingishu is hurting. The other issue that came out clear is that Madam Judy, as the report states, she enjoys or she's misusing the relation she has with some notable leaders. The reports have brought it out very clear that our brothers and sisters accepted to invest with First Choice because during launching of this company at tax center, 3 very, very prominent people in this country were invited. One was our own, the former governor, Honorable Jackson Kiblagat Mandago. Yes, being the county CEO and the CS was coming, in many cases, they have to attend in such a, because a CS of the national government, when he comes in your county, you appear in such a function. He went in that function. The CS of the then national government and currently in the current government, Mr. Simon Chelugui, who's by then he was the CS, water. I am standing tall and asking my president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, that you have an officer who need to clear his name. What connection does he have with this lady, this institution? Because it's a high time Kenyans, we be like Britain. We have seen leaders stepping down from their positions once the public have lacked confidence with them. It's a high time. CS Chelugui, maybe you are just asked to grace the occasion, but it's a high time. He come out clear and say that I don't have any connection with this lady who has done whatever she has done to our brothers and sisters. Failure doing that, the lady will continue swindling others in other towns. But I hear in Kitale, she was denied access to do what she did to our brothers and sisters in her home county. Another notable person was a business magnate or business person, DL. He's a person we respect. He's a person who has done what we would like to do as Kenyans, and we are proud of him. But our brothers and sisters entered into this conmanship because they saw the 3 respectable Kenyans in that function, and they said, wow, this is the right place to be. Mr. Speaker, it is very saddening to see that Kenyans are taking advantage, desperateness of our people, our young brothers and sisters who have gone to school. There is no white-collar jobs in Kenya, and they are trying to get a greener pasture elsewhere. Mr. Speaker, personally, I, Honorable Francis Muyamwangi, I gave an orphan lady 40,000 on the same program. Not only I, several honorable members in this house, they were called in, they chipped in one way or another, and it is so painful to see that you denied yourself trying to make somebody earn a living, but there is somebody smart somewhere who was just doing her 1, 2, 3 calculation to make her ends meet. But Mr. Speaker, I am not going to leave alone the county government of Uasin Gishu, the executive. Mr. Speaker, why am I involving them in this. The cry of our brothers and sisters has been so loud in Uasin Gishu that nobody can say that I have not heard that something wrong went somewhere. But there is no one day I've seen the enforcement team, I've seen the executive, the Department of Licensing, trying to go and ask what is happening with this first choice recruitment agency. Is that the way we are going to work? What they are doing is to fight the Mama Mboga, the boda man, and that common mwananchi. I think it's a high time, as a county government, we also mark and guard our territory. If we find somebody who is misbehaving, like first choice recruitment agency, we call a spade a spade. This is not the kind of business that should be allowed in this great county of Uasin Gishu. Mr. Speaker, I am calling my governor, His Excellency Jonathan B. It is not late. It's one of our recommendations that the business permit be revoked with immediate effect, and as the head of this county, to summon this lady by the name Miss Judy, and explain what plans does she have to refund our brothers and sisters their money. Because when we were listening to the petition, we were given some samples of the post-dated checks, one for Mr. Nzuki. But we saw another letter later from his lawyer trying to address the bank and the owner, the holders of the check, that those checks should not be cashed. Why? And he has the money in her account. If somebody have terminated the contract, why these shenanigans? Mr. Speaker, it's a high time. If we have laws in this country, this lady should not be walking free while our brothers and sisters are suffering outside. You are given promises that you are going to be taken to Finland, Poland, Qatar, wherever. And those who manage to go, instead of staying for 6 months, there was a batch that arrived on 5th because they were also swindled. They knew that they are going to stay for good for 6 months, but it was never to be. Mr. Speaker, it's so disheartening. We are calling. We have so many recommendations here, without mentioning them, that it's a high time. After the lady be compelled to refund all the monies of those who did not benefit, can the criminal investigation department, the other department that are busy following Kenyans, we have the DCI, we have the anti-corruption. It's a high time we see what is done to such Kenyans. Because, Mr. Speaker, if this lady goes scot-free, we have other good and smart ladies more than her, and men. They are going to come up with another issue. And I'm telling you, we are not going to have peace. We are not going to have any progress, because you can imagine, simple calculation, 40,000 times 8,000, 320 million. That person can afford to buy a posh house in the best estate in town, drive a very posh car with people's money. It's a high time. If indeed she's clean, can she clear herself by refunding the money to the poor brothers and sisters who invested in her company, but they did not get anything? Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say much. The report is self-explanatory, but on behalf of the committee, who worked tirelessly. Congratulations. That is the way to go. The members of this honorable house, you are equal to the task. Let us soldier on. Let us soldier on and make sure that we make.
What's the point of order, Honorable Anjay?
Mr. Speaker, alive to the fact that this is a grievous matter, I will seek to move a motion of extend the time of this plenary sitting. I call upon Honorable
Honorable Anjay, it's 4:10. We still have up to 6:30. So in our standing orders, it's up to 6:30. So yes. So
Thank you. Thank you. They have the spirit to burn even midnight oil, making sure that we give a solution to this matter. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that I'm urging these honorable colleagues to pass this report with maximum speed and with minimum delay, and for it to be extended to whoever it concerns, so that actions can start taking place with immediate effect. I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
thank you, Honorable Minority Leader. I now propose a question that this County Assembly do adopt the report of the ad hoc committee on petition on first choice, recruitment, and consultant agency dated 28 February 2023 and table on 28 February 2023 with or without amendments. I will give any member who want to contribute 3 minutes each so that we can able to contribute. Honorable Goretti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, I'll Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, I want to really also continue appreciating the ad hoc committee for the good work. I also want to congratulate the petitioners and especially the 14 who are very bold to have come out to petition on the first choice recruitment agency. Mr. Speaker, it is said always fish in the river will follow the stream as it flows. But if you find that fish that will go against the current of the river, that is a very strong fish. I want to say those youths who appended their signatures are the strongest fish that we have in the county, because they have stood to speak on behalf of others who are suffering. Mr. Speaker, it is very perturbing to see a woman of all the people being the swindler of people's money. I thought women, Mr. Speaker, were given even the 60 cents, because you find women, even in their own homes, they can multitask. They could be breastfeeding a child, milk is boiling on the fire, and she's reading a newspaper. But none of them will actually go wrong. But it is very unfortunate to have had the only woman by the name, what is the name? Judy Chepchirchir. I don't know whether she has children. Is she married? Does she have a family? Does she really know the toil that our parents go through to make their children attain education to a certain level? Mr. Speaker, there are many students, many learners, many people, many of our youths who are not able to reach their expectations or to attain their goals in terms of education. Not because they didn't want to be there, but because of lack of resources. Here comes a woman, a lady, I don't know whether I should give her another name, a slave, who feels that she should be meddling with people's minds, resources, in the pretense of employment. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, we as women, we condemn the acts that Judy Chepchirchir did. It is unacceptable in any society for a woman who carries a pregnancy for 9 months, feels the pain to push, and then again comes to eat up the same children. Mr. Speaker, as if that is not enough.
You should be winding Honorable Bureti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We also have the lawyers, and one by the name Mr. Kenny. I think, Mr. Speaker, the name lawyer comes from the name law. And I wanted to believe that lawyers are there to uphold the law. But it is unfortunate, most of our lawyers currently are not upholding the law as it is in the Constitution. Even if there is something that is very wrong and it is very clear that is against the law, they would go defending it. Then, Mr. Speaker, the question comes, who is going to fight for the rights of the people if our lawyers can even defend somebody they know he has gone wrong? Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this report should be executed to its fullest to ensure our youths who are here today, languishing in poverty, no employment, get their justice. Mr. Speaker, I want to believe through this report, our youths are going to get justice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Moses Kabene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And let me also take this opportunity to thank the committee for the job well done. What I heard during the petitioner presentation here is what you can say it can only happen in a movie. Unfortunately, it happened within the boundaries of Uasin Gishu County. I think moving forward, this assembly, we should come up with legislations to govern or to guide the county government of Uasin Gishu concerning the overseas agencies, the agencies looking for jobs for young men. Because, as we have heard here, Madam Judy is one of the smartest ladies around. Let's say, in form of how, I don't know the better word I can say. Pardon? No, the best, let me not use a tough word. What I was saying is she's one of the smartest ladies. Let me just use it direct to con people. And we have others who are smarter than her. So if the smartest ladies will come to this town, unfortunately, we are going to lose a lot of money, and parents and our youths are going to suffer. This morning, when I came here, I was expecting so many petitioners who were frauded by First Choice. I called around 4 of them from my ward, and I asked them, today you are supposed to be here because the report will be tabled. Unfortunately, or the saddest part of it, all of them were saying they were willing to come, but because of their status, they don't have money. They don't have transport to come to town. Also, where I come from, there's a lady I know who came to my place. She lives in a 1 point piece of land, and she sold the 2 cows she was having so that the son can go to Qatar for the World Cup job, so that she can come, the son can come back and help the family and educate the younger brothers. Unfortunately, the cows went. The young man is still around. They just have a hut there where they are living. It is so sad, Mr. Speaker. As much as we want to talk, we go through left or right and trying to look at this report, probably somebody who is having a heart to forgive. But what we had here and what I've seen at home from the people I represent, around 3 families, it is very sad, Mr. Speaker. Very, very sad. And if there's any tough action, apart from what the report has recommended, that this house can apply, kindly let us try to find that route so that the petitioners and the young people from Uasin Gishu County who suffered through this process can get back their money, and if possible, with interest. If possible, with interest. Because when you look at the people sit at the gallery there, you will see some of them probably came by foot from home to this place. It is very unfortunate. And I don't know. The best route, probably as we proceed forward, let us prevent something of this nature happening again in our county. My recommendation, which I think probably we will discuss later, it may be it was not captured, but this is what I'm just saying because I'm contributing to this debate. It is also high time for us as an assembly to make sure the security operators in this county are not compromised by people who think they can compromise the security operators in this country, especially in our county. We have the mandate by the people to represent them at this assembly. Names have been mentioned here of people from the security apparatus. Probably, if not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I'll take in personal initiative and I'll go and speak with the county commissioner concerning this issue. Even if it's to lead demonstration, that is not a big deal. We can do it and I'll be in the forefront. Because the petitioners, they need justice. I totally support the report, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Honorable Mercy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand here to congratulate the committee, the ad-hoc committee, for this well done job and the report. I want to reiterate the recommendation 2 and 3 of the National Employment Authority. Honorable Speaker, this is the body that has been mandated by the government to counter-check the recruitment agencies. Honorable Speaker, we have an alarming issue of human trafficking, where you find our young girls and boys are being recruited with these agencies, and when they get to these overseas countries, they're being exploited. Exploitation nowadays does not happen to just young girls and boys and young girls and women. It has transferred. Now you find men are being exploited. When you look at this issue, these two, the petitioners here, they have been abused one way or another, whereby they sit in front of us today. Some of them have had, they have had to battle with unemployment, they've battled with not having money, they've had stress. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to reiterate that the recommendation 2 and 3, that the National Employment Authority, they can set up aside a safe migration policy, whereby before our young women and men travel to these overseas countries, they are taken through a safe migration training, whereby, you know, I'm given a contract. This contract, is it a legit contract? I have a translator. I take my passport. Why are they confiscating my passport? So my recommendation is that the National Employment Authority should have a safe migration policy, whereby before these young men and women proceed to the last stage of leaving this country, they know that it's a legit program. Thank you.
Honorable Patrick.
Nashukuru sana Bwana Spika, kwa sababu ya jambo hili nataka kuunga mkono ripoti ambayo imeletwa kwa sababu ya kampuni hii ambayo inajiita First Choice. Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kushtua kwa sababu mara nyingi hapa Kenya jambo linaanzishwa, watu wanaibiwa, hiyo inaisha namna hivyo. Kwa mfano tulikuwa na, nitaquote jina, kwa Kiingereza wanaita pyramid scheme. Hapa Kenya ilianzishwa kitambo nyuma, ikaibia wa Kenya na ikaenda hivyo. Hata hapo Uasin Gishu bado kuna hiyo pyramid scheme, na hapo inukuu inaendelea, imeendelea hapa Uasin Gishu, imeibia watu na inaenda namna hivyo. Hii ya leo hatutaki ripoti ambayo itaenda kuwekwa mahali isanye vumbi. Tunataka tuone hatua kali imechukuliwa. Hatua ya kwanza, kuna mheshimiwa mwenzangu amesema wale maaskari wahamishwe. Mimi ningependa wakihamishwa wasikuje Moisbridge. Na pengine tuchunguze hii mambo ya kuhamisha watu, wahamishwe wakienda nyumbani, wasiwe wanaenda mahali pengine, maana ujanja huu umeendelea. Wakenya wengi wameumia kwa mikono ya watu aina hiyo. Na tungeomba sana IPOA ifanye hawa wametajwa hapa kuwa mfano. Mara nyingi sisi Wakenya, pengine Wakenya wadogo kule nje, wakipelekwa kotini, tuna ile hadithi ya kusema kwamba mtu mdogo akipelekwa kotini, pengine ameiba kuku, anasomewa akiambiwa ndio iwe mfano. Na yule tajiri huyo sasa ambiwe iwe mfano. Sisi tunataka leo hii iwe mfano ya mtu ambaye anafikiri anaweza tumia mamlaka na atumie wakubwa kujificha na endelee kula pesa kwa wananchi. Sikutarajia hii kwamba kwa macho yetu tutaona tu pesa zinachukuliwa, wananchi wanaenda kuandamana, wanapigwa na askari, wanafukuzwa. Vyombo vya habari vinaonesha kwamba huyu ni mwanabiashara kamili mzuri, na hata mmoja akienda kupeleka kesi kotini unakuta kule kuna mambo mengine tofauti, unazuiwa. Na hata pengine tunapoongea hivi yende kawa tu bwana Speaker, tunaendelea hivi tunashtakiwa pale kotini, mbona mnanitaja? Sababu inaonekana ni mtu anatafuta njia zote za kujilinda. Mimi ninaomba hivi, hii ripoti ichukuliwe kwa nguvu na uwezo ambaye inalete. IPOA ichukue nafasi, DCI ichukue nafasi, na isichukue muda. Tunaomba kama vile tuliomba ile asubuhi ya kwamba wakati tunakubaliana tu hivi, tuone hatua inachukuliwa. First choice inafungwa. Yule jamaa ambaye anajua kupima watu bila tajriba, naye ashikwe, awekwe kule, achunguzwe. Maana kumbe pale first choice wana kila kitu, wana hospitali pia, wana mambo mbalimbali. Huyu achunguzwe, hiyo cheti yao iondolewe, tuletewe ripoti kamili ya hatua ambayo imefanyika. Na mwisho, hiyo pesa irudishwe mara moja iwezekanavyo, isingojewe tena miezi na miezi. Unajua tumezoea Kenya, jambo linafuatiwa mpaka unakufa, watoto wako mpaka wajukuu wanafuata hiyo kesi. Na nilikuwa nafikiri kama ingewezekana Mungu angewa anaruhusu watu wafufuke, ingekuwa shida sana, sababu hakuna haja kesi iende muda mrefu. Tunataka warudishiwe mapema, wapewe vyeti vyao vya kusafiri na ya shule, warudi kuendelea na kazi yao ya kawaida. Na hata hiyo akaunti yake ambaye pesa imewekwa ifungwe kwa sasa, wasio wanatoa pesa ndani. Maana tunaweza ongea hivi na kimbia toe zote. Zifungwe ili watu ambao wamenyanyaswa warudishiwe pesa zao. Na tufanye kuwa ni ngumu sana, napomalizia, mtu kuja kuanzisha biashara kama hiyo ndio uweze kujinufaisha. Tuifanye kuwa ngumu kabisa. Naunga mkono Bwana Speaker. Nashukuru sana.
Honorable Wanji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this report by the ad-hoc committee. Well done to the ad-hoc committee. One, we were treated with a lot of drama by the untouchable lady, Madam Judy, and the half-baked legal representative that came with her. One thing that we noted is the fact that there seems to be a moral degradation of our fabric system. We were told of instances where people could sell their land, their cows, and at a given point, someone, I don't remember the name, but someone got to sell all his properties just to go to Qatar. It was a conduit that got these fellow hustlers who are watching us live right now, and we must stand by them. We must show them all solidarity. We must give them the necessary assistance that we have as a house. I'm aware that various facility conducting laboratory services were mentioned, and we want to instruct the county health department to ascertain how this facility get to work in this county in conjunction with an untouchable lady. We also want to express this to a Department of Enforcement. Now that this committee has recommended that the licenses of the first choice be cancelled forthwith, We want to see them in action from tomorrow, closing the doors of the first choice offices. And to the DCIO Eldoret, they must be called for whom they are. They mistreated our youths. They personally called each and every person that went through the wrath of Madam Judy. And it's a high time that we check our security system to ensure that they comply with the existing law that we have. If a case is reported to you at Eldoret Police Station, and you end up calling and intimidating those who are supposed to give witnesses and those who are supposed to be the complainant, threatening them to withdraw cases, those specific cases must be tabled, must be captured, and get to be known so that they may be acted upon. As I wind up, Mr. Speaker, I must say that I hope that this is the last time that we are handling such a petition. A petition where we had our petitioner clearly crying in tears before us, helplessly. And to all leaders that are mentioned, the three leaders, our Honorable Senator Mandago, and our CS Chelugui, and our DL, they must come out from the hiding where they are and state what they know about this matter. It's not a laughing matter to us as a house. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that the checks that were given to the victims were later stopped by the First Choice Agency. And that in itself is a criminal offense before our laws. When you issue a check and then you give orders thereby stopping that check from being effected to the bank, that in itself is a criminal offense. And I must say that as a human rights activist, I'll stand by the victims, and tomorrow I hope to dispatch a notice demand to one Madam Judy of intention to sue in a criminal case. Because as a private citizen, you have every right to commence a criminal case against a person if it's deemed that police are not doing what they should not do by the law. Thereby, tomorrow, Madam Untouchable, expect a letter from yours truly, the MC of Huruma, wakili mtetezi, Simba ni moja.
Honorable Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I join my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, in supporting this report moved by the chair ad-hoc committee. Mr. Speaker, I was privileged to be part of the committee, and I want to say that our brothers and sisters have gone through a lot, Mr. Speaker. The parents, relatives have gone through a lot. It was good initially. Everybody could believe that it was a worthy cause, but we are here now, Mr. Speaker. We cannot blame them, Mr. Speaker, because in presence of leaders that we trust, in the presence of a CS, in the presence of a governor, why don't you believe? Why don't you believe such a situation, Mr. Speaker? At some given point, Mr. Speaker, we thought it was good. While we were campaigning, we were included in a certain aspect, Mr. Speaker, that there are opportunities in Qatar. Little did we know, Mr. Speaker, that it will end up in swindling money from innocent parents and innocent people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I can summarize and say that was violence, that was robbery without violence. Though later, Mr. Speaker, violence was involved. When some activities took place, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Judy was very hostile to us. That is why the chairman at one given point declared her a very hostile witness. If she can behave in such a way to the honorable members and this honorable house, what about young men and women from our village? Mr. Speaker, I would want that this report does not just end there, Mr. Speaker. I know, Mr. Speaker, we have procedures in this county assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, the recommendation that has been recommended by the committee that involves other offices, Mr. Speaker, like the Inspector of Police, like EACC, and all other bodies, Mr. Speaker, let this report not just end here. Kindly, Mr. Speaker, and the leadership of the County Assembly, facilitate this report to reach those offices. If letters are supposed to be written to various offices, Mr. Speaker, EACC, Director of Criminal Investigation, Director of Police, if there is something like that, it should be done as soon as possible, Mr. Speaker. And if possible, a follow-up should be done. We have a legal office in this county assembly. We have departments that can follow up, Mr. Speaker. Let us just not stop there. Let us follow it up to the letter. We want to make sure, Mr. Speaker, through this county assembly, in one of the recommendations, that monies to be sent back to the students. Monies to be sent back to the parents, those who paid. Judy and First Choice should honor checks. Not only checks, but to be paid in full. Mr. Speaker, if we can follow up and we follow it to the end, then we will have served our brothers and sisters in a good way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to kindly advise as well, members of the public, our brothers and sisters, our parents, that in the future engagement, when it comes to such issues, when it comes to traveling for overseas jobs and studies, I want to kindly request them that let us be very careful. Let us be extra careful so that we don't sell the entire piece of land expecting a return when you go there, and at the end of the day, you remain in Kenya, you don't have the piece of land, there is no money, frustrations will come in, depressions will be there, and it will be a problem. Mr. Speaker, let our people in Uasin Gishu County and in Kenya deal with people who are known to do genuine business, people who genuinely do this business for the sake of assisting our people. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the report and request that this House, through your leadership, Mr. Speaker, facilitate whoever is concerned so that it can reach respective departments as recommended by the committee. Thank you.
Honorable Nicholas.
Asante sana Speaker kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Ya kwanza ningependa kukushukuru na niweze kushukuru chairman wetu wa kamati hii ya AD-HOC kwa ripoti hii ambaye tuliweza kukalia chini, tukaweza kusikia kupitia kwa mshirika mkuu Judy Chepchirchir ambaye kweli alionekana kuwa mkaidi kabisa kwa kamati yetu na bunge hili. Nakumbuka vizuri wakati alipokuwa akituongelesha hapa, alionekana mwenye ushujaa mwingi na wakili wake alionekana kujua mengi kuliko yeye. Nikaona msichana huyo alikuwa ni kiburi sana. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ningeomba ripoti hii iweze kutiliwa maanani sana na serikali na wahusika wakuu ili sheria iweze kufuatwa. Judy aweze wafuatilie mambo yake vizuri, waweze tuweze kuelewa itafika wapi, na tungeomba sana pamoja na wazazi wenye walihusika na watoto wenye walihusika ili tuweze kufuatilia kwa undani pamoja na serikali yetu ili hatua iweze kuchukuliwa. In future katika siku sijazo, Mheshimiwa Spika, serikali na wahusika wanastahili waangazie sana kampuni kama hizi ili wanapopewa nafasi, watakapopata nafasi ya kuweza kufanya kazi hii, serikali iweze kuchunguza kwa undani kiini hasa na mipango za mwenye program kama hii ya Judy Chepchirchir. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwangu binafsi niliona alikuwa na nafasi chache, lakini alichukua ile advantage ya kuweza kwa sababu nafasi katika nchi yetu ya Kenya na Uasin Gishu hii imekuwa ni duni sana. Akatumia nafasi hiyo kuweza kumobilize Kenyans ambayo walikuwa naumia huko nje na kuweza kuchukua pesa ambayo imekuwa zaidi ya milioni 300 tunapoongea sasa hivi. Kwa sababu kuna wengi mpaka na sasa bado wako huko ambayo walipimwa hapa kiafya wakaonekana kuwa walikuwa wazuri sana, na saa hii wakapewa ati waende kufanya huko kazi kwa miaka 2. Lakini kwa sasa kuna ndugu yangu moja, jirani wangu, ambaye aliweza kunufaika na nafasi hii. Ako Qatar sasa na amepimwa tena, amerudishwa akapimwa na afya yake sasa imeonekana kuwa haiko sawa kuendelea na kazi katika sehemu hile. Naona Judy Chepchirchir huyu aliweza kuunda hospitali yake, ameunda mpaka huko Qatar, kwa sababu aliunda hapa Kenya ambaye ilikuwa napitisha watu wote wenye wali apply walipita, hawakuwa na shida yote. As soon as tu ulikuwa na pesa ya kuweza kulipia, ulikuwa na pesa zozote zile, uliweza kupewa nafasi na kufaulu katika safari hiyo. Lakini wenye wako huko sasa wamepimwa, sasa hawako sawa tena kuendelea na maisha katika sehemu hile. Sasa wanataka warudishwe kwa sababu contract huenda imeisha na sasa wanastahili warudishwe nyumbani. Jambo lingine Mheshimiwa Spika, ni ya kuwa kumbe pesa kweli ni sabuni ya roho kwa Kenya. Kwa sababu hii milioni 320 ndio inatuzungusha sana katika kaunti yetu hii ya Uasin Gishu. Kuanzia kwa maaskari, DCIO, wote sahi wako katika ile kikapu ya 320 ambaye watu waliteseka sana. Kuna kijana ambaye alitoka Soi, alikuja akalia hapa, halilia kabisa Mheshimiwa Spika, ambaye tukiongea sasa hivi bado nasikia usuni sana kwa kijana huyo. Aliuza pikipiki, akauza ng'ombe yake, kila kitu ambaye alikuwa naye akauza. Na juzi bado anaendelea kumshika mpaka hata na sahi. Anahangaishwa kweli kweli. So hii ripoti na Judy Chepchirchir huyo wa first choice anastahili afuatwe na akamatwe na uweze kuona mkono wa sheria. Jambo lingine, nakumbuka Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati hiyo harakati na shughuli ilipoanza, Mheshimiwa Spika, wazazi wengi waliweza kusacrifice sana pesa zao, na hata nilikuwa kwa mipango ingine ambayo walikuwa napanga ya mazishi. Ilifika kiwango pesa waliweza wakachanga kiasi, wakaweza kufinya pesa ya mazishi ile ili waweze kumlipia mtoto wa boma hiyo aweze kwenda Qatar. Wakati shilingi 40,000 walipia kijana, halafu ile ingine mazishi iweze kufinywa ipunguzwe gharama. Ikiwa Mheshimiwa Spika, shughuli hii inafika mpaka hata ya kupunguza pesa ya mazishi ili mtoto aende Qatar, unaona hali ya familia hiyo iko duni sana. So tukiongea sana Mheshimiwa Spika, tunasikia usuni na tunaendelea kusikia usuni kwa sababu tumeweza kuchaguliwa na raia hawa. Mimi nimetoka Tapsagoi ward na kuna wengi sana ambaye tunaumia pale pamoja na wenzangu na majirani wengi wanaendelea kuumia na wanaongojea sana ripoti hii, kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu Judy hata ameweza kukatalia kabisa pasipoti ya watoto wetu. Amekatalia kabisa. Sasa wazazi hata wanaomba kweli, si utusaidie sasa hata pasipoti ili tutumie kwa laini zingine, kuliko ushike unaweka pasipoti, hakuna nafasi, hakuna kusafiri, kandanda iliisha. Sasa hata wazazi wanashangaa tutafanyaje? So ni jukumu letu kufuatilia na kuhakikisha Judy Jepchirchir huyu ameweza kushikwa na kuchunguzwa kwa undani sana. Mheshimiwa Spika, sina mambo mengi sana, wacha niweze kukomea hapo kwa sasa, lakini naunga mkono sana ripoti hii na wacha Mungu atusaidie sana kwa sababu tunahitaji hata mkono wa Mungu iweze kuandamana pamoja nasi katika safari hii.
Bwana Spika, nataka niseme ya kwamba kwa kusema ukweli, jinsi waheshimiwa wenzangu wamesema, nikiwa kijana kwa niaba ya vijana ambao wako hapa kwenye aldari, nataka niseme ya kwamba tunasikitika kwa kuweza kutesa vijana ambao haileti mfano nzuri, vijana ambao wanatarajia maisha yao ibadilike na mwishowe wanapaki bila matumaini. Na tuliambia vijana hawa msome, tuliambia vijana hawa mjikaze, alafu kisha baadaye ile bidii ambaye mzazi alifanya na vijana walifanya, baadaye inakuja kukua ni hasara. Jambo hili ni mpaka tutatue kwa undani, kwa sababu jambo hili tukipatia nafasi iendelee katika kaunti yetu ya Uasin Gishu, kizazi kichayo haitakuwa na nafasi ya kuweza kuendesha maisha yao. Kwa sababu saa hizi ikiwa mimi kama mheshimiwa nasikia kwamba maisha ni ngumu, je, na hawa vijana ambao hawana mshahara? Kwa hivyo nataka niseme viongozi wenzangu, waheshimiwa wenzangu na Mheshimiwa Spika, tunataka tuombe sana ya kwamba wacha haki iweze kutendeka. Tutumie mbinu zote, ingawaje tukitaka kupiga turuvini kule nyuma katika taifa letu la Kenya. Kuna masuala mengi yamekuwa yakichupuka ambayo imekuwa ni ya jinsi hii ya kutumia njia isiyofaa labda kupata fedha, na imekuwa ikihujumiwa. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme ya kwamba jambo hili ama mswada huu ambaye tumeweza kupewa katika assembly hii ama katika bunge letu hii, tafadhali nataka niombe sana, nikiwa mimi pia ni mheshimiwa ambaye nawakilisha wale raia wa Lalahoe, ya kwamba wacha haki iweze kutendeka. Wacha tutumie liwe liwalo, wale wawe funzo kwa siku za usoni. Na pia tumekuwa tukingangana labda sisi kama viongozi, lakini nataka niombe pia mahakama, wakati ambapo inafika wakati ama sehemu yao kuchukua, jinsi mheshimiwa Kimayo amesema, wacha watumie muda mfupi, kwa sababu ikiwa kama sisi tushapitia ni nini ndio wanaenda kusema sana, na sisi tushapitia, ushahidi iko, kila kitu iko. Hii muda yenye wanasongesha mpaka saa zingine inakaa miaka 5 ni ya nini? Kwa hivyo nataka niombe mahakama pia, wakati ambaye inachukua chukumu yao, iweze kusuluhisha swala kama hii ambaye inakuza maskini kwa haraka, kwa sababu tunataka matunda ya haraka. Hatutaki tuseme leo hapa alafu tutakuwa tunasikianga tu ile jambo ambayo tulikuwa tumesema ya wale wanafunzi ambao walilagaiwa ilifika wapi. Tunataka tu kwa muda mfupi tuweze kupata ya kwamba wale wenye walifanya ulagai wamechukuliwa hatua, na hivyo basi sheria imeshika mkondo wake. Kwa hivyo nataka niombe ya kwamba wacha jambo hili, wacha hoja hili ambayo imeletwa hapa leo, na ni kwa sababu ya ulagai ambayo imekuwa ikifanyika katika taifa letu ya Kenya, aswa sana hapa nyumbani mwa rais hapa Uasin Gishu, iwe ni siku ya kikomo kutokea sasa. Kwa hivyo sitaki kusema mengi kwa sababu ya muda. Nataka niseme naunga mkono kuhakikisha kwamba wanafunzi hawa na wale wengine wanapata haki yao.
Honorable David Keita.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. First of all, I want to thank the committee, which I'm among, and especially our chair. Thank you, Chair, for the good work. Mr. Speaker, I'm still shocked, especially when the Vice Chair was trying to do some calculation. I also did some calculation, and I started with the one for the Vice Chair, the one for 40 million, but I just decided to go back and use the figure of 10,000, assuming that she was collecting 10,000, and I realized that she was still getting 80 million. And still, Honorable Speaker, I did the one for the Lawrence, the same guy who paid 450. And I just assumed, if it is true, those 8,000 applicants paid 450, that person could have collected 3 billion. And that tells me, Honorable Speaker, that yes, it is true. There is Kenyans are suffering. There is a lot of, we don't have, most of the people don't have money. But I've realized, Honorable Speaker, through this report, and being a member also, is that as Kenyans, in Kenya, we are rich. It's only that not most of the Kenyans, not many Kenyans are rich, but few individuals are rich. And now they are becoming rich, Honorable Speaker, is that they are just using such opportunities whereby our people sometimes maybe they are desperate for jobs, maybe disparate on other issues. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that, and I'm requesting our government, that is a government led by His Excellency Mr. Chelelim, to do the necessary so that we can stop these issues. The reason why I'm saying that, Honorable Speaker, is that I'm seeing chances of having many more agencies coming up in Uasin Gishu County. Why am I saying that, Honorable Speaker? If such a person can collect or can get applicants 8,000 within a very short time, that is just within a year, then it means if you can come up with an agency, even within 2 months or 3 months, you can come up with even 1,000 applicants. Just to charge those people even 100,000 or even 10,000, you have good money. So it's my request to the government of Uasin Gishu, from now onwards, not to issue license to these agencies unless otherwise we are done with this one of first choice. That is my request to the government of Uasin Gishu, because our people have suffered, and the way honorable members have given the history of some, it's very painful. Another request, Honorable Speaker, is to this director of first choice. The issues of holding passports and original documents for these applicants. I want to request that the applicants should be returned, should be given back their original documents, and especially the passports and academic documents. These people should not suffer again. They have lost their money and they should not continue suffering. That's my request, Honorable Speaker. And as our, that is the first recommendation, the one for the Employment Act, it is also my request that the necessary should be done so that the rules and regulations should be amended, so that for someone to come up with such agencies, some laws should be there so that it cannot be that easy, the way the first choice decided to just come up with an agency and open one in Uasin Gishu and con so many people in our country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Saida. Yes, Honorable Saida. Sarah, I did.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, we only knew that we have crocodiles in the sea, but we didn't know we have crocodiles with us, waiting for the right time. Why do I say so? Our leaders, you know, we should not also blame them. They go out there to look for opportunity for our youth. They didn't know that there are crocodiles waiting for that opportunities. Sometimes when we blame them and they're trying hard, maybe to look for opportunity for our kids. So let's not also blame them. Let's know where the battles lies. Mr. Speaker, when you look at our youth, some of them are orphans from very poor backgrounds. Some of them, they didn't have anything, but through other people and support and charity, that's how they got that money. So I wonder, these crocodiles, they should have been in the sea, not with us. Mr. Speaker, sir, something should be done. You know, we hide everything under the carpet. The truth should come. They should face the first they should face the full force of the law. They should not be left free. The lady who was here, Madam, I don't know, she's called Ruth, and her counsel, the way they acted was inhuman. As if they have never had youth, they have never had relatives. You know, they were just in the sea waiting to grab the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, whoever it is, we should not shy away from the truth. We should have justice for these people. Because these leaders of ours, they go out there to look for opportunity for our youth. Look at other countries, they don't have such a thing. It's only Kenya. It's a disease which is in us. So every time we see such things happening, you are telling us we stop our leaders not to go for opportunities for our youth. I'm begging and I'm asking the Honorable Governor to be careful and to look and not to leave to these hyenas who are waiting for opportunities. They are working hard there to look for the opportunity for these kids. I think he should open an office. They should open their eyes. They should not be left alone. And they should do something for these kids. At least they should get something. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, when parents are told your kids are going to be given opportunities to go and work, what kind of work are they going to do? Parents should ask, tell us which work are they going to do. If it is a work which is good, it's okay. They should be told how much are they going to be given. When I tell my daughter you are going to work there, and maybe I'm taking her there for prostitution, it will not help that parent. We are destroying our youth. When you tell our youth, now we are paying for you, go there up, go and look for a job. What kind of a job is that youth going to look for? Drug abuse. Because when you tell them, I'll give you the money for your studies, do for me this, they will do it because you have told them to go and work and educate yourself. I think by taking this youth outside there should be rules. What kind of a job are they going to get? Universities should look for them opportunity jobs. The parents should be told. The youth live here, and when they come back, they come work when they are cabbage. Already they are drug addict. And then you say the parents are waiting for the opportunity. That parent who had only one land and he sold it for his kid, just in that boy to support himself and to support the parents, come back when he's a cabbage. He has nothing, he's just a drug addict. I think this time people should open their eyes. This business of taking the students out there without knowing what kind of job they're going to do. Finally, Mr. Speaker, this lady should face the full force of the law. She's not above the law. No one is above the law. She should pay back their money. No one is supposed to hold somebody's passport or any documents. It's unlawful. She should return back those documents to the students. She has already grabbed their money. She has already spoiled their life, and then she has her documents. I think mine is to say, Mr. Speaker, every parent, and if you're not a parent, open your eyes and see what is going outside there. We either help those kids, or we just say, okay, why are we here? We are here to talk for the people and support these innocent kids who have been made to just wonder. They have nothing to eat, they have no transport, and their parents cannot support them anymore. Frustrated. Some of them are dying of frustrations. I think they should face the full force of the law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice on all the comments and contributions that honorable members have just contributed. Thank you. I can use this one. And Honorable Speaker, first and foremost, I would like to thank your office for the total support you offered to the Committee on ad-hoc while canvassing this matter of public interest. Honorable Speaker, the time given to petitions to be heard by this county assembly is just a period of 60 days. I've come to realize the reasons as to why even 14 days is not enough even for the presidential petitions. Because we sat even for 60 days, but we still have a feeling that further investigations was still needed also to gather more information, because some of the issues were leading to other issues that needed further investigations. Honorable Speaker, with our able chairman and the deputy chair that took us through all this period of time, I want to congratulate them this evening for the good work that they really did to make sure that the committee all the time were present to hear the petitioners and to hear also from the accused person giving their evidences the way the natural justice has to be dispensed, that you are guilty until proven, you are innocent until proven guilty. We gave an opportunity, Honorable Speaker. Madam Judy sought for even an extension. At one time, the committee needed to hear from her in the spirit of giving each and every Kenyan an opportunity to defend or answer on allegations that they have been alleged to have done. But in the process, Honorable Speaker, Madam Judy felt that she was being mismanaged here. She was not being heard, even according to a legal counsel. And Honorable Speaker, we don't have much time with a lot of luxury to wait for people who have been told to appear before a committee to give their evidence or what they know about. Yet they ignore knowingly that they will just come here because we have a timeline to dispense our matter, that they can have a scapegoat court. Mr. Speaker, sir, the vulnerableness of the African people or the African continent or the developing countries on that matter should not be taken to be an harvest haven for those who pretend to know. The little resources that Kenyans struggle to get on a daily basis to put their food on the table is not an easy thing, Honorable Speaker. While even the chairman was reading this report, I was just contemplating on what the devolution should be doing to its citizens so that such a challenges we cannot encounter on our daily basis as we go ahead. Mr. Speaker, sir, the rate of unemployment in Kenya, yes, it is an issue. But people who pretend to know something should not take an advantage of such circumstances, Mr. Speaker, sir. Yes, if the intention was good, Madam Judy could not have retained the passports of our young men and women who needed even to look for other opportunities if the opportunities in our agency was not available, but she is also not ready to give. How much damage is she causing to that young man? I want even to thank the petitioners that we have not had somebody who have just hung himself or taken his life or just be admitted, because they have decided to persevere knowing that justice one day will come. Because this is not a matter that should be taken lightly, because it is torturing, it is totally torturing. Because that parent who sacrificed the little that she had, I know very many young youth whom their parents sacrifices for this cause today, that one was the last chance for that child for his future. We want to say that was in Gishu County government, this one being a matter that we were handling and concerned about those ones who applied in was in Gishu alone, that a thorough audit should be done, Honorable Speaker, on these agencies that are offering support to our young men and women to get further studies abroad or even get employment elsewhere in the name of lack of employment in Kenya or looking for greener pastures. It is worth also to be noted whether the county government did the due diligence to make sure that the granting of business permit to this first choice agency was duly, the background check was done so that she could be accorded this business permit to operate the heinous acts that she has done to our young generation who are looking for a bright future in this country, Honorable Speaker. It is not too long, it is still within our memories, and it is still a problem today to millions of Kenyans who have gone abroad like searching for greener pastures, but they have ended up landing in the wrong hands. That we are crying today, we are crying on a daily basis that the government to look for an avenue to bring back our children home. I am a victim of this, Honorable Speaker, as I stand here today. I also paid 40,000 for a nephew that he wanted to go for work in Qatar, but this never happened. In fact, the boy was even shy to come back to say, I didn't get the opportunity, but he was still promising that things are still going on well, of which I want to believe he is one of the others who didn't manage to join this petition in the hope of still seeing that there is hope in first choice. Honorable Speaker, we always say justice delayed is justice denied. I want to plead with our petitioners to bear with us. They might have wanted us to give the verdict as soon as possible for them to proceed with their life or elsewhere to do other things in their lives. But this is the far we have just come. Let them bear with us. The report is out today, and action should be taken forthwith so that our young men and women who have really suffered through this first choice to get justice so that they can proceed doing their own. First Choice, Honorable Speaker, is one of the many agencies in this county that are not here even today. But they are doing their own things in those agency farms outside there. It is only that the parents have not come out or the victims have not come out to display. As I told you also today, I'm a victim of a child that was going to another country, but when the visa came out, the visa was reading a tourism visa, and the destination was also another country. So you can see the nature of shenanigans that is going on in this town, Backstreet, Honorable Speaker, that are not even said here, and that is the reason why we are calling even for the county government to do a thorough audit on what businesses to okay or to license them to operate here so that we get justice. Honorable Speaker, we know our judiciary is the only place we can run also to get other justice. Even if today that the people who came here, the petitioners who came here, don't see that we have not fulfilled what they intended us to do, there is still an avenue also to proceed to pursue for this justice to be done. And the people whom are involved many a times to carry out those issues in those areas are the ones that today are being mentioned in this report, that they were not willing to accord an opportunity to somebody who is crying for help, because it is the police whom we are running for protection so that we can get justice in areas that we need to get justice. And if in those institutions, Honorable Speaker, are places where also our lives will be threatened, whom will Kenyans run to get justice if the protecting bodies are the ones that are scaring us from accessing justice? We want to say that let each and every Kenyan be accorded an opportunity and be heard fairly without any discrimination, Honorable Speaker. I want to believe today that after the coming out of this report, something will be done the way very many honorable members have just highlighted, so that we can sort out this problem once and for all. I want to also call this House, Honorable Speaker, that as honorable members, let's take our own initiative of making sure that we protect also the public. One example like this one of First Choice has just landed in this house, and we want to believe that if we interrogate further, we might be having some mitigating measures that we can do with our administration, our ruling administration currently, so that we can prevent further damages of such nature that brings pain, brings even sickness, brings even death to our people of this county, so that we we make sure that we prevent it. I want to treat Madam Judy as one of the culprits, like any other culprit who has done wrong but not being treated as women, so that women cannot be victimized of being con women in this town of Wazingishu, the way they have gone. I know very many women are struggling to make ends meet, but let's do as Kenyans the right thing so that we can also be branded. It is very easy, Honorable Speaker, to brand a woman. And this one, I can attest when the time Honorable Waiguru as the CS at that time for the devolution when the scandal of the NYS came out. And then very many people were talking about a woman. But there are so many illegalities that men do, but the way they are being expressed is not the way it can be expressed when a woman does this. But we want to say Judy is one of any other Kenyans who is not doing the right thing but it should not be taken it from the perspective of gender. I rest my case and do say, Honorable Speaker, thank you for according us this opportunity, and I want to believe that in future maybe we might do better than what we have done. Thank you.
Honorable Gilbert.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I've gone through the AD-HOC report and I'm satisfied on the good work they have done. I've just stand not to comment, but to confirm that the report is exactly what I knew about the untouchable lady that is currently known as the director of First Choice, the company. Honorable Speaker, I came across this lady in the year 2011 when I was a student at Mount Kenya University. Being a student leader, I had an opportunity of looking for the hostels of the first years within the town, and the said lady was an entrepreneur. She had some hostels that she was lending, and we had an agreement with her as a university. She disappeared after a while, and when she came back, we met with her as an international entrepreneur. She came to me with a deal of deforestation in one of the companies, in one of the countries in West Africa. And being a student leader, she wanted from me about $500,000 so that we can sign a deal so that we can be partners with her to do such a business in one of the countries in West Africa. Little did I know that she has another character. Let me call her a con lady. We had raised some amount with my friends so that we facilitate her and one of us to go to West Africa to sign an agreement, the said agreement. But in the course of the week, I found her in the streets of Eldoret at the time that she was supposed to be in West Africa. I've just said I want to confirm that the report that the AD-HOC committee has presented to this house is not something that has no basis. She has started her business of being a con lady some years back. She later disappeared with no report on issues of West Africa. Later, I realized that she has gone abroad. I don't know which country she went until the year 2020, when I had a cousin who was to travel. I went to her office. She has taken some money. She has now started running up and down with me. I told him, I went to her office and I was told she's inside, but she must give an okay for me to see her. I wrote a note that this is an aspirant from Kiplombe Ward. I wanted to talk with her. I sat in her office for almost 30 minutes before I was given an okay. To enter into her office, you must remove your shoes. We had a talk of almost 10 minutes with her, and she agreed. Yeah? She agreed that my cousin will go. And as we talk now, my cousin is in one of these countries that she was talking about. And as I have said, Honorable Chair, I'm standing to confirm that the findings of the ad-hoc committee is nothing but the pure truth. There was a recommendation that the said company to return the money to the affected people, but let the government or the county government assist these young people on a way to go where they were supposed to be as we deal with this lady. Because she needs to learn on a hard way. As Judy, being untouchable in this town, I know the able chairman, if given opportunity to act on behalf of the government, he will do better than what we expect from the government. So I'm challenging the government after getting the report that Kenyans have suffered in the hands of Judy. How long will this government take to give hopes to the hopeless youth? How long will this government take to ensure that the rights of these young people are done what? They need to be given their rights. So I rest my case. I support the report 100%. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe I will give Honorable Chair 2 minutes to wind up. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to appreciate the contribution made by members. Honorable Speaker, I am a staunch member of AIC, and in this case, a very dedicated CHF member. And Honorable Speaker, I have a feeling that perhaps this lady we are talking about, like Sakayo, may decide to apologize and call us for a meeting so that we start paying back people who did not make to go to the promised land. Perhaps that she may take that route, which I highly welcome. I want to confirm to this House that she is a mother and a good one. And again, Honorable Speaker, that she is a parent and a good one. And that is why I will not be surprised if she will stand today before the cameras like what Sakayo did and say that I apologize, please come, let's sit, I will give you back in double. But Honorable Speaker, that does not stop us from doing our work. Honorable Gilbert Chepkonga is not far from what he used to do in the years 2000, 2001, 2002, when I was in Kenya Polytechnic, together with His Excellency Simba Arati.
that justice must be served to these young Kenyans. Now that I'm a leader, Honorable Speaker, I choose to reason with leaders. And I'm joining the membership, Honorable Kibenei, Honorable Wanjohi, that we seek address from the county commissioner. And that is tomorrow. Now that is the chairman of the county security. So we start from there to seek justice on behalf of these boys. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to use another term, but it's unparliamentary. Allow us, Honorable Speaker, to prosecute this matter further. I told the Honorable House that this is a report that has recommendations. But part of the recommendations are us to act. Part of the recommendations are for us to act. And if it will mean that going to the streets, then Okello, that is his home. I am standing here, Honorable Speaker, at a privileged position. And members of INAP Kolare are looking at me at the eye. And they are saying that this is the person we chose to represent us. And they're asking themselves, will he? The petitioners here are seated here, looking at us and asking themselves, will this house help us? I want to thank the honorable members because not one of them has given an opinion suggesting that Madam Judy did good. And I thank you, members. I want to thank the overwhelming support we got from public that we pursue this matter to its logical conclusion. So that the young boys who came here today by foot and the many others who could not join them can be heard in this august house. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you because you did not sweep this under the carpet, but you thought it wise that let Kenyans have justice. Like what God said, that let there be light. And it is in this assembly, Honorable Speaker, that you are saying, let justice be done. Honorable Speaker, if there is one thing you will count as worth noting that you've done in this year, is letting this committee look into this matter. Because you will not only be helping your brother, but you will also be helping your niece, your nephew, and the entire Wazingishu. Now, Honorable Speaker, I want to authoritatively say that Wazingishu has a speaker who speaks on behalf of the community. Honorable Speaker, I am careful not to accept the word that honorable members are using here, that she is the untouchable. Because Okello is here. We have honorable members who are here, and they are willing to go to that extra mile to make sure that this lady is put into account. Honorable Speaker, if I stand here more than what is what I have, I may turn out to be physical with the shadows. Honorable Speaker, let me again once more thank the leadership of this House, thank the Secretariat, thank the honorable members, and specifically, Honorable Speaker, the members who chose to involve themselves in this matter at the committee level, and yet they were not the members of the AD-HOC committee. I want to thank them because their contribution was immense.
We have one request, Honorable Speaker, that the good people who chooses to demonstrate may find themselves tomorrow at the cells. And that does not, and Okello is not an exceptional. But I want to tell you, Honorable Speaker, that before Okello and honorable members are put into the cells, let us find Judy Jepchirchir there. So that, Honorable Speaker, we need to reward the good deeds citizens of Uasin Gishu offer and punish the wrongdoers here in Uasin Gishu. For those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg that this County Assembly adopt the report of the other committee on this petition of first choice. Thank you, Honorables.
Thank you, the chair of the other committee. I think, honorable members, if this house adopt this report, you have made your recommendation, and I think the relevant bodies and agencies that you have mandated in this recommendation, if the house adopt, they will take care of that issues. I will now put a question that this county assembly do adopt the report of the other committee on petitions on first choice recruitment agency, recruitment and consult agency, dated 28 February 2023 and table on 28 February 2023 with or without amendments. Will as many of the same opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order number 213-2, I allow these two reports on petitions to be deliberated and resolution made, since these two petitions were of huge county importance. I know normally we don't debate on such reports, but that's why I allow, because it's of huge county importance. Therefore, it was noble for this honorable house to air their views, to get to understand the pertinent issues the petitioners are raised. I want to take this opportunity to thank the petitioners on a Finland scholarship program through your Uasin Gishu County government. Also the petitioners on first choice recruitment and consult agency, and also the general public who took their time to follow these proceedings of these petitions. Lastly, I want to congratulate honorable members and staff of the County Assembly for their immense support. Further, I would specifically thank the members of the ad hoc committee for the job well done. Next order.
Order number 10, procedural motion.
Honorable Isaac Samuel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members. Order number 10, procedural motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, that pursuant to Uasin Gishu County Assembly Standing Orders number 28-3, this House do adjourn its sittings from Thursday, 2nd March 2023 to 13th March 2023 to proceed for short recess as per the Uasin Gishu County Assembly House calendar. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to the fact that the standing orders I have read, we passed in this honorable house when we resume in the sitting that we'll be having some short recess, and according to our own calendar, starting tomorrow onwards to 13th, Honorable House, this House is adjourned, especially in plenary, but all our sittings will proceed on. Committee sittings, I mean. Number two, aligned to the fact that our Honorable Leader of Majority is bereaved. Members, this is an appropriate time that starting tomorrow onwards, we participate on individual and communal part in studying with our leader until the day that the family are set. And also, aligned to the fact that honorable elected leaders, you have a role of playing oversight to the great people of Uasin Gishu, and also in terms of representation in your respective wards. To that juncture, members, consume and minimize these 10 days so that you can represent your members, the people who elected you to come to this assembly, and also do your oversight role in respective areas. And I do request Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Isaac Chirchir, to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kupatiwa fursa hii na somo wangu ili niunge mkono kwenda fursa fupi ya siku 10 ili kushughulikia mambo ambayo ni masuala nyeti katika bunge letu na masuala nyeti katika wakilishi katika sehemu zetu za wakilishi bunge, na pia kushughulika na ndugu wetu, kuungana mkono na ndugu wetu kiongozi wa hii jumba Mheshimiwa Julius Sang, ili kuhudhuria na kuwa pamoja katika mipango ya kuona kwamba dada wetu amelazwa pema peponi. Mheshimiwa Spika, kabla sijadia tamati, pia mimi nataka kujiunga na wenzangu kuunga mkono kwa dhati ile chopo dharura ambalo limemaliza ama imeidhinisha ile wakati ambayo walikuwa wakichunguza mambo ambayo ni masuala nyeti sana katika chumi zetu na pia katika kuitafutia watoto wetu kazi, ambalo limetumiwa na matabeli na pia wale watu wa kuigiza kuinyang'anya haki yao.
Point of order.
Was it honorable?
Kuinyang'anya.
Was it point of order?
The member was standing to second the procedural motion. The other one that he's alluding to has already been overtaken.
Thank you. I think Deputy Majority Whip, you are seconding the motion of adjournment. Let's stick to that. I think the issues of ad-hoc committee has been exhausted. So kindly stick to...
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikuwa natilia tu mkazo kwa nini tunachukua fursa hii ili kwamba hata ile chopo dharura ambayo ilimemaliza mkao wake ifuatilie venye mwenyekiti wao amesema ya kwamba tangia kesho siku zijazo wakutane na mkuu wa wilaya hii ama mkuu wa kaunti hii ili kuiona kwamba hao matabeli wametiwa nguvuni. Hii ni wakati ambayo inatakikana siku hii 10 wao pia wawe na wakati mwema wa kufuatilia mambo haya. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni tu kutia nguzo na msingi mwema, sababu hasa ya sisi kutohudhuria bunge zetu siku ya Jumanne na siku ya Jumatano. Mheshimiwa Spika, nasimama kuunga mkono hoja hiyo ambayo ililetwa na naibu kiongozi wa bunge hili, anasema ya kwamba wenzangu, waheshimiwa wenzangu, sisi wote tuende tujiunge na ndugu wetu, sisi wote tuende tujiunge na sehemu zetu za wakilishi bunge, ili kwamba na tujiunge na wetu katika ile chopo kuiona kwamba tunasukuma ile mito yao ambayo wamekamilisha kwa ufasaha mkubwa sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker, naiunga mkono. Asante.
Mr. Speaker, point of information, kindly.
Was it honorable?
Mr. Speaker, sir, with the performance of Mheshimiwa Mr. Speaker, sir, with the performance of Mheshimiwa Tamoge today in Kiswahili, I do, with your wise wisdom, Mr. Speaker, kindly, probably as we resume from 13th, we just allocate a day in a week whereby we'll be speaking Kiswahili so that some of us can be very fluent. Mr. Honorable Samuel Isaac, Chirchir Isaac, today has really performed exceptional in Kiswahili.
That's a nice idea, Honorable Moses Kibene. And I think we will discuss with the House leadership or we will allocate the time for Kiswahili. So, honorable members, first one to your Singisho standing orders, number 28.3. This House do adjourn sittings from Thursday, 2nd March 2023 to 13 March 2023 to proceed for short recess as per the Singisho House Assembly House calendar. I'll give some few members. We discuss this, then we... Honorable Minority Leader.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker. Ingawaje hoja hii huwa haijadiliwi, lakini kama vile umesema ni kwamba unawapa wachache ili wakapea maoni yao. Mimi ninaunga mkono waheshimiwa hawa wakaenenda katika pumziko hilo la muda mfupi, lakini wananchi wajue kwamba mwanasiasa hapumziki usiku mchana, Jumapili, siku ya hawana. Tunatoka hapa kwenda kupiga msasa, kazi ambao mkono wa pili unafanya kule mashinani. Miradi mbalimbali ambazo zinatakiwa kuwa zimefanyika, kwa sababu tuko katika kuota ya ngapi? Ya 3. Na vile utendakazi wa kaunti hii uko kiwango cha chini sana, na kwa hivyo tuna jukumu waheshimiwa, enda utangamane na wale ambao hamuonani. Najua waheshimiwa wengine wanatoka mbali kama Mheshimiwa Okelo, mwajua kwamba atoka wapi. Wengi hawana jukumu, hawana budi la kuchukua nyumba pengine hapa mjini ili wakakaribia katika jengo hili kama katika bunge. Lakini sasa ni wakati wa kuenenda mashinani, kutangamana na waliotuchagua, kuhakikisha tumepiga kazi msasa kazi zinazoendelea, kuhakikisha mambo ambayo yanaendelea kwa wananchi tuyasikiza kama wawakilishi wao, ili turejee hapo na ukaenenda mahali pia ukapumzike. Ni muhimu. Ni muhimu. Wazungu wanatoka mbali wanakuja, ingawaje wale wao mto wa Serengeti kwa sababu ya ukame umekauka. Kwa hivyo pia nawe jipeleke mahali ukapumzike kimawazo, mwili ukirejea hapa una nguvu ya kuchapa kazi. Naunga mkono. Asante.
Honorable Okelo.
Kwa kunipea nafasi hii ili niweze kuchangia hoja hilo la kuiharisha bunge hili. Mheshimiwa Spika, ninakubaliana nayo kabisa kwamba waheshimiwa hapa wanatamani sana kufanya ile kitu nikinukuu bonding na wakilishi wao kule mashinani. Nikitambua hiyo mheshimiwa, ni kwamba kati yetu kuna waheshimiwa kama mheshimiwa Natui akona kazi ngumu kule mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni muhimu na nakubaliana na hoja hili ya kwamba tuende nyumbani, pia tuunganike na familia zetu.
Mheshimiwa Spika, hoja nidhamu.
Was it Honorable Chirchir?
Mheshimiwa Spika, mnenaji mheshimiwa kutoka jimbo la Inabkoi ameashiria kwamba mheshimiwa kutoka eneo la Ngenyile, kipimo kipi kinaashiria kwamba kana kazi ngumu. Tunataka kuelewa kazi hilo ni hipi, ni kazi ya wakilishi, kazi ya tendakazi ama familia?
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Kabla ya maisha yetu sisi hapa, kuna mahali tulitoka. Na natambua kazi ambaye Mheshimiwa Natui alifanya kitambo kabla hajafika hapa, akiwa mwendeshaji wa Chemangira. Natafuta neno hilo kwa Kiswahili, samahani Mheshimiwa Spika. Na naambiwa yeye ni mwendeshaji hatari, hodari, akitumia hicho mashini, na sasa naambiwa ako na mashine. Mheshimiwa Spika, ninakubaliana na hoja hili kwamba tuende mapumzikoni, maana sisi wengine tuko na kazi ya ziada ya kufanya. Nimetoa kwa mfano wa mheshimiwa huo. Kwa hayo mengi na machache, Mheshimiwa Spika, na kubaliana na hoja hilo ya kwamba tuende ruhusa mapumzikoni. Asante.
Thank you, honorable members. I want to say this has been a very fruitful afternoon and entertaining one at the end of the session. So there being no other business on the order paper, this honorable house stand adjourned until Tuesday, 4th March 2023 at 9:30 a.m.